about borrowing costs guided by accounting standards PAS 23. Okay? So take note of that, PAS 23 for borrowing costs. Okay, so let's proceed. So according to PAS 23, paragraph 5, borrowing costs are defined as interest and other costs that an entity incurs in connection with borrowing of funds. Okay, so simplihan lang natin. What is borrowing costs? This is simply the cost of borrowing. Okay, so parang binaliktad mo lang, sir. Okay? Gastos mo kasi may inutang ka. Okay? Eh pag nangutang ka, normally, ano ba ang gastos mo dyan? Lalo na pag umutang ka sa isang lender. Di ba? Terminology-wise, kasi when we say borrowings, di ba? Nangutang ka sa lender tulad ng bangko, di ba? Financing cooperatives o other financial institution. Tama? Now, pag sinabi nating lender, nagpapautang yan ng may patong na interest. At ang interest na yan ang nagsisilbi nilang kita. Kung kita nila yan, ikaw na nangutang, ang trato mo dyan ay very good, gastos. That's why mainly ang tinutukoy natin na borrowing cost is simply the interest. Interest expense. Okay? Laro tayo dyan? Okay. So, paragraph 6 provides the borrowing cost specifically include. So, we have interest expense calculated using the effective interest method. So, this is the normal way of getting the interest, no? The interest rate, the outstanding amount of the loan, tas yung involved na period. So, that's how you get. Okay? Uh, that's one example of borrowing cost kasi nga alam natin ng borrowing cost is simply interest. Okay? Ano pa? Finance charge with respect to a finance lease. Okay, so when we talk about finance charge, so sakop dyan syempre yung interest. Pero in terms of finance lease class, no, iba kasi yung treatment dyan. Okay? Pero ang point natin, that would be considered borrowing cost according nga dito sa PAS 23. Now, ano yung finance lease para medyo may ano kayo, no, may onting idea kayo. Renta. Okay, pero take note, nagrerenta ka, yung nirerentahan mong property at the end of the lease term, okay, yung napag-agreehan nyo ng period hanggang kailan mo siya ililis. At the end of the lease term, okay, you will purchase yung property yung inupahan mo. Okay? Parang utik-utik, no, binabayaran mo siya over the lease term period, then at the end of the lease term, mapapasayo yung property yung inupahan mo. Tawag natin doon finance lease. Okay? Yung alam nating normal na renta, operating lease tawag doon. Okay? So, in effect, di ba, parang binili mo yung property pero unti-unti mo siyang binabayaran. Okay? Yun nga yung from time to time, no, installment na binabayaran mo. Yun na pala yung nagsisilbing tawag nito, bayad mo paunti-unti to purchase the property that you are renting. Okay? Since paunti-unti yan class, installment yan. Okay? Lumalabas sa side nung nagpapaupa, 'di ba? Receivable niya yan sa'yo. Long-term receivable niya yan sa'yo. Okay? Ikaw naman, na unti-unti nagbabayad, ang treatment mo dyan, long-term payable mo. Pag-usapang long-term liability class, hindi nawawala ang connection pagdating sa interest. Okay, or yung mga finance charges. Okay, so that is considered also as a borrowing cost. Okay, yung finance charge natin under finance lease. Ano pa? Exchange difference arising from foreign currency borrowing to the extent that it is regarded as an adjustment to interest cost. So, typical lang, no, na interest mo sa isang utang. Pero this time, we're talking about utang na kung saan denominated siya in foreign currency other than Philippine peso, of course. So, pwedeng ang utang mo ay in dollars, okay, USD dollars, in yen, and in other foreign currency. Okay? So, yung exchange difference kasi class dyan, yung tinutukoy dyan, in terms of translating the US dollar or translating the yen, okay, into Philippine peso, magkakaroon niya ng differences nga. Kasi we have what we call foreign exchange rate. Okay, so iba yung foreign exchange rate from the time na nangutang ka, then iba din yung foreign exchange rate sa time na babayaran mo. Okay, so in effect, magkakaroon nga ng adjustment do'n. And in effect, yung related interest do'n, magkakaroon din ng adjustment. Okay, but all of that are considered borrowing costs under PAS 23. Okay, klaro tayo diyan? Okay. By the way, ang focus ng discussion natin class dito no sa PAS 23 sa borrowing cost is to determine ano ba yung dapat na ika-capitalize na borrowing cost at kung papaano yun kukumputin. Yun yung pinaka main ano natin dito focus. Okay, anyway, let's proceed. Okay, so sabi dito, accounting for uh, borrowing costs. So basahin lang ni sir, if the borrowing cost is directly attributable to the acquisition, construction, or production of qualifying asset, the borrowing cost is required to be capitalized as cost of the asset. Okay, so ika-capitalize lamang yan kapag yung mismong borrowing cost ay direktang related ulit sa pag-acquire, pag-construct, pag-produce ng qualifying asset. Okay, now kapag not directly attributable, sabi niya dito, okay, or yung related borrowing cost nga sa qualifying asset na yan, yung borrowing cost simply recognized as expense or interest expense. Tama? Okay? Now, ang tanong nyo siguro, sir, ano po yung tinatawag diyang qualifying asset? Okay? Ano yung qualifying asset na binanggit mo kanina, sir? Maya-maya ipaliwanag natin yan. Okay? Okay? Then, just to emphasize class, no, in recognizing borrowing cost, may starting point yan. Okay? And here are the conditions as indicated here. Okay? So, first, we have expenditures for the assets are being incurred. Okay? Take note lahat daw ng conditions na to kailangan ma-met para yung borrowing cost ma-start na natin na i-capitalize. Okay? So, lahat yan. So, first, expenditures for the assets are being incurred. So, for example, nagko-construct ka ng building, di ba? Dapat meron ng mga nabiling mga materials para doon, di ba? O di kaya may gastos ka na na-incur. For example, pagdating sa excavation, no, ng lupang pagtatayuan ng building, di ba? So, any borrowing cost from that moment, pwede na ring i-recognize starting from that point. Since meron ka na na-incur na expense para dun sa asset. Dun sa tinatawag nating qualifying asset. Okay? Mamaya na natin i-discuss kung ano yung qualifying asset class para klaro lang tayo at this point when it comes to capitalizing the borrowing cost. Okay? Ano yung starting point niya? Okay? Next, borrowing costs are being incurred. Okay, syempre dapat yung interest expense o yung borrowing cost nga ay incurred na rin para pwede mong i-capitalize siya as part of the cost ng qualifying asset. Okay? Regardless kung yung borrowing cost na yan ay binabayaran every certain period or isang bagsakan kasabay ng pagbayad ng principal amount at the end of the loan term. 'Di ba? Ang punto, when it is being incurred, pwede na nating i-capitalize 'yun. Okay, yung mismong borrowing cost na 'yon. So for example, nangutang ka sa bangko para i-finance nga yung kino-construct mo na building, 'di ba? All of the requirement na submit mo na at sabihin na natin initially approved na. Okay, let's have a date. Kunyari, May 1 na approved. Okay? Pero in terms of additional security ng bangko, for example, magko-conduct sila ng checking ng credit status mo, no? Bago nila ibigay yung uutangin mo nga. Okay, sabihin na natin after 1 month, no, ang nakalipas bago na ibigay yung inutang mo. Let's say 1 million. Okay? So yung 1 million na ibigay na sa'yo, na-credit na dun sa bank account mo. Okay? And that happened only after 1 month. So May 1, initially na-approve kasi binigay mo yung requirements. Then after 1 month, doon lang na-credit yung inutang mo. So that would be June 1. Okay? Tama, di ba? Question, kailan ang start ng pag-incur mo ng interest? Di ba? Ang sagot, June 1. Doon mo lang na-receive eh. Tama? So by that time, doon mo lang din pwedeng i-start ang pagre-recognize ng borrowing cost na i-capitalize mo. So kung June 30 na ngayon, may 1 month ka nang pwedeng i-capitalize na borrowing cost. Correct? Correct yon? Okay. So letter C, activities necessary to prepare the asset for its intended use or sale are being undertaken. Okay, so for example nga ulit sa building, di ba? So bumibili na nga ng mga dagdag na construction materials, nag-hire pa ng mga construction workers, nakikipagkontrata pa sa mga enterprises na may mga heavy construction equipment para mapabilis ang trabaho, and any other activities happening while the construction of the building is in progress. Okay? Tama? Pero class, hindi lang limited sa activities during the progress of the qualifying asset ang basehan para masabi mong pwede ka nang mag-capitalize ng borrowing cost. Okay? Even yung mga activities prior pa sa commencement ng construction activities bago pa talaga simulan yung pagbuo ng building. Like for example, di ba? Getting building permit. Okay? So bago ka magsimula syempre maghuhukay dyan, dapat may building permit ka. Okay? Tama ba? Tapos ano pa, syempre yung establishing the blueprint, 'di ba, nung building na 'yon. Okay, kasama din 'yan. Maghahanap ka muna ng architect, okay, tsaka engineer na magke-create ng blueprint ng itatayo mong building. Pati mga activities na related sa legal matters kung meron mang issue, okay, before construction ng building. Consider din 'yan as activities, no, na tinutukoy dito. And as early as that time, pwede nang i-capitalize ang borrowing costs. Okay, hindi lang yung activities during the development of the qualifying asset. Pati din yung mga activities bago pa, okay, mangyari yung construction. Okay, yung development ng qualifying asset. Klaro tayo dyan? Okay? Basta take note class, no? All of this, itong binanggit nating tatlo, must be present para masabi natin na ang capitalizing ng borrowing cost para sa qualifying asset ay pwede na. Okay, so para madaling tandaan, lagyan natin ng mnemonics. Tawagin nating EBA. Okay? EBA. Okay? So, E, expenditures for the assets are being incurred. B, borrowing costs are being incurred. A, activities necessary to prepare the assets for its intended use or sale are being undertaken. Okay? So, klaro tayo dyan So, next na is ito. Explain na natin yung qualifying asset. So, sabi dito, qualifying asset, an asset that necessarily takes a substantial period of time to get ready for intended use or sale. Okay, so from the word itself, qualifying, meaning papunta pa lang sa pagiging asset. Okay, whether for operation use yan or for sale purposes. At sinabi dito, it takes substantial or long period bago mo siya maturing na asset. Kumbaga may proseso bago siya maging asset, whether acquired yan, self-constructed, or produce. Okay? Now, ano ang mga examples? So, we have manufacturing plant, power generation facility, okay? Intangible asset, then investment property. So, normally naman talaga, no, kung isipin mo, yung pwede mong number one na maisip mo na qualifying asset, yung it takes long period bago siya maging asset is yung mga facilities, yung mga building, mga infrastructure. Katulad nga na itong manufacturing plant, power generation facility. Okay? During its development, its construction, okay? Masasabi natin qualifying asset yan habang binubuo siya, habang kino-construct. Okay? That's the normal. And any other PPE items na alam nating dine-develop, kino-construct in progress. Okay? Ano pa? Intangible asset. Okay? That's one also. Lalo na for example kapag ang pinoproduce mo ay mga computer software. Computer software is an example of intangible asset. Siyempre bago ka mag-come up dun sa computer software na functioning well na, may mga development phase pa yan, di ba? May mga gastos ka in terms of developing that computer software. So yung period na lilipas doon, so mga gastos mo doon, okay, that would be considered as part no magiging capitalizable amount natin, no? Considered computer software nga. Okay? So, kasama din 'yon. Now, another example, for example, intangible asset, no? So, nag-iimbento ka in connection with patent, no? Nag-iimbento ka ng isang bagay, original na invention mo. For example nga, cellphone na nagiging plancha. Okay? So, may research, may development phase na mangyayari diyan, okay? Just to come up with the final output. Okay? So, yung development cost nung pag-create mo ng cellphone na nagiging plancha, okay, that would be considered as part of the cost ng magiging intangible asset natin. Okay? So, that's one. Then we have also investment property. When we talk about investment property class, we are talking only to land and building, ha? Land and building. So, it is a typical investment, pero instead na yung cash nilalaan mo sa stocks, sa bonds para manganap pa ng pera. Ito, ang ang ini-invest mo, or should I say yung investment mo nilalaan mo para sa land and building. Okay, land and building. Okay? It's either bumili ka ng land para yung land ay paupahan mo. Okay? Or it's either yung bumili ka ng building, okay, para paupahan mo din. Okay? At a certain point, kung hindi naman papaupahan, patatagalin mo siya since investment yan, no? Patatagalin mo siya kahit hindi mo siya ginagamit, no, purposely, patatagalin mo siya, then at some point na kung saan okay na yung price niya sa market, saka mo siya ibebenta. So by that time, malamang nag-appreciate na yon. Okay, mas lamang na yung presyo nun kaysa dun sa dati mong pagkabili. So therefore, kikita ka nga. Okay, considered investment property. Okay, tandaan, ang keyword natin sa qualifying asset dapat in progress siya. Okay, under development. Okay, papunta sa pagiging asset. Okay? Now, meron dito, okay, excluded from capitalization. Past 23 does not require capitalization of borrowing costs relating to the following. So, asset measured at fair value such as biological asset. Okay, so as required ng standard guiding biological asset class, no, biological asset, if I'm not mistaken, parang na-discuss ko na sa inyo or kahit papaano nahapihawan natin yan, no? These are living animals and living plants. Okay? Ang recognition dyan, fair value. Okay? Now, kung ang asset daw ay measured at fair value, okay, yung past 23 hindi nag-a-apply. So, in terms of capitalizing the borrowing cost, hindi natin yung kino-consider. Okay? Ano pa? Yung mga investment in equity instrument and debt instrument. Ito yung normal na investment na alam natin. Nag-invest sa stocks, nag-invest sa bonds, and other modes of investment. Aside dito sa nabanggit natin na investment property. Yung mga yun, hindi yun kasama. Okay? So, anything na tawag nito, borrowing costs related for that biological asset and then yung investment sa equity instrument and debt instrument, okay, hindi natin kinakapitalize. Okay? Hindi natin kinakapitalize. So, definitely, kung sakaling pinondohan yun, o interest expense lang yun. Okay? Tama? Next, inventory that is manufactured in large quantity on a repetitive basis, such as maturing whiskey, even if it takes a substantial period of time to get ready for sale. Okay, kasi sabi dito, may long-term period na kailangan lumipas bago siya maging asset. May mga times na katulad nga nito, kung sakaling ikaw ay manufacturing company, di ba? It takes a long period bago yung inventory or bago yung asset maging available for sale, which is, yun nga yung inventory mo, mga alak. Okay? Pero, sabi na rin sa standard, hindi natin kino-consider yon kahit ganun yon. Dahil kung sakali, yung asset na yan na intended for sale, na ma-manufacture in terms of repetitive process, Okay? Hindi pa rin natin iko-consider 'yun, any borrowing cost 'no, hindi natin considered as ika-capitalize para dun sa inventory. Okay? So, hindi lang enough na may word na long period 'no. So, dapat alam din natin kung ano yung ine-exclude ng accounting standards ng PAS 23 as to capitalization of borrowing costs. Okay? Ang pwede lang mag-fall down na for example, nanghiram ka nga and then at the same time may interest na mai-incur, yung interest na yun pwede mo i-capitalize kung yung inventory ay made to order inventory. Kumbaga customized inventory. For example, ang inventory mo ay machinery. Okay, ikaw ang nagse-self-construct ng mga machinery. Okay? Kung customized 'yan for specific client, 'di ba? Hindi mo siya kino-construct ng same with others, 'di ba? Specific. Okay? Unique kada client. Okay, pag gumagawa ka ng machinery kasi siyempre depende naman sa nature ng business nila, 'di ba? So, with that, matatawag natin na yung ginagawa mo, okay, na inventory, it takes a long period, 'di ba, bago magawa 'yun kasi machinery 'yan, eh, tama? Pero ang point natin hindi 'yan, on a large quantity or on a repetitive process kasi iba-iba ang magiging final output mo diyan dahil iba-iba yung client mo. Made to order inventory nga 'yan, eh, tama po ba? So with that, kung merong borrowing cost kasi nga may pondo kang, hiniram, okey, so yung borrowing cost out of that, borrowings 'no, na ginamit mo para magkaroon ng or ma-produce yung made to order inventories mo can be capitalized, okey, can be capitalized, okey. Hindi yun kasama dito sa sinasabi niyang excluded. Ang excluded lang yung mga, ah, inventories na though long period ang kailangan bago sila maging intended for sale, pero pasok siya dun sa repetitive process, large quantity process ng pag-produce niya, in-exclude natin yung capitalization ng borrowing costs. Okay? Then, any borrowing cost, hindi rin kinakapitalize kapag yung asset na related for that is ready na for use. Okay? Or ready na for sale. Okay? For example, building, bumili ka ng building, yung building okay na for sale, okay na for use. Wala ka nang kailangang i-develop pa, 'di ba? So, yung pondong ginamit mo and the borrowing cost, I mean, yung borrowing cost out of the fund na ginamit mo to purchase the building, hindi mo dapat i-capitalize. Okay? Hindi mo dapat i-capitalize. Kasi nga, una sa lahat, yung borrowing cost na related lang sa qualifying asset ang kinakapitalize natin. Okay? Pag okay na, ready na for sale or use, no? Yung building or kunyari, ano nga, machineries, di ba? O hindi na natin, yung borrowing cost dyan, hindi na natin consider as capitalizable. Straightforward expense yan. Una sa lahat, dahil yung asset na binili natin, hindi qualifying asset. Bagkus, asset na agad. Okay, okay for use, okay for sale na. Okay, klaro yan ha? Okay, anyway, additional pointers lang in terms of capitalizing the borrowing cost. So number one, capitalization is suspended during extended periods in which active development is interrupted. Borrowing costs during these periods are expense. Okay, for example, natigil yung construction ng building. So may kino-construct na building. Qualifying asset ba yan? Yes. Papunta pa lang siya sa magiging building. Di ba? Tama po ba? So, any borrowing cost, any interest related dun sa fund na kinuha mo or inavail mo just to construct the building, okay? Pwede natin capitalize. Now, may rules nga. Okay, ito nga yun. So, again, for example, natigil yung construction ng building kasi wala ng pondo. Okay, naubusan, kumbaga. So, yung nai-incur na borrowing costs, suspended muna for capitalization. Okay, ano daw ang treatment? The borrowing cost is recognized instead as expense. Okay, during the period na wala pa ulit na nangyayaring active progress doon sa construction ng building. Okay, pag may active development na ulit, saka lang iko-continue yung capitalization ng borrowing cost. Klaro yun, ha? Klaro yun? Okay, next. Capitalization, however, is not suspended when substantial technical and administrative work is being performed or a temporary delay is necessary part of development process. So again, construction ulit ng building. May mga times kasi na kailangang itigil ang pagpapatuloy ng construction. Technically, for safety reason. Tama? Sabihin natin, yung kino-construct na building nasa stage ng pagbubuhos ng semento doon sa pundasyon niya, tsaka sa mga haligi nung gagawing building, di ba? Eh syempre, pag usapang pundasyon tsaka haligi ng building, dapat matibay yan, di ba? Dapat yung semento talagang tuyong-tuyo. Okay? Para walang aberya pag nagpatuloy na ulit yung construction. So yung temporary delay, no, para patuyuin yung semento ay hindi rason para itigil yung pag-capitalize ng borrowing cost. Still, ika-capitalize mo yung nai-incur na borrowing cost. Okay? At ano pa? For example, in terms of administrative work naman, okay, may inspection coming from the local government. So as part of their administrative responsibility, di ba, i-check nila kung nasusunod ba yung safety protocol pagdating sa construction ng building, di ba? Tapos, hanggat wala silang approval na okay to proceed na ulit, eh wala mo na mangyayaring continuation ng construction. So during that period na naghihintay yung may-ari ng ginagawang building, no, naghihintay sila ng approval coming from the local government para i-continue nga yung construction, okay? Eh still, considered pa rin as necessary part ng development process. At yun nga, within that period, yung borrowing cost na na-incur, capitalizable pa rin. Okay? Hindi expense, ha? Kasi uulitin natin, ang reason kung bakit nahinto pansamantala yung active development ay due to technical and administrative works. Okay? Which is necessary. No? Na dapat talagang pansamantalang tigil muna. So with that, yung borrowing cost, capitalizable pa rin. Habang nag-i-incur siya, still capitalizable. Kasi necessary naman yung delay na nangyari. Okay? Ano pa? Pag may bagyo, di ba? Malamang yung construction ng building matitigil muna pansamantala. But still, any borrowing cost, capitalizable pa rin. Okay? Next, capitalization of borrowing costs ceases when the qualifying asset is substantially complete. Okay, so for example, yung building na tinatayo mo, okay, di pa napinturahan, pero okay na gamitin. May linya na ng kuryente, may linya na ng tubig, tama? Wala nga lang finishing touches, kumbaga tulad ng pintura, okay, hindi pa nga napinturahan. Okay, or wala pa nakakabit ng mga CCTV. Pero since pwede nang gamitin ng sino man, for example, kung yan nga ay paupahan na building, kahit wala pa yung pintura, that could be considered substantially complete na. Okay? May linya na ng kuryente, may linya na ng tubig. So, pwede na talagang gamitin ng mga uupa. Okay? Again, that would be considered substantially complete na. And with that, tigil na yung capitalization ng borrowing cost. Okay? Dahil ang borrowing cost, kinakapitalize mo lang para dun sa qualifying asset. Dun pa lang sa magiging asset. Eh ito, substantially complete na, asset na yan. Okay? So, we will stop the capitalization of the borrowing costs. Okay? Then, may sinabi dito, if the construction of a qualifying asset is completed in parts, capitalization ceases. So, titigil na for each part that is completed and ready for its intended use. Capitalization continues for the uncompleted parts. Okay, ito naman, for example, 5 palapag yung pinapagawa mong building. Okay, so yung first to 4th floor done na. Pwede nang gamitin. Yung 5th floor di pa. Kasi yung ginagawang division doon sa 5th floor eh di pa tapos. So yung 1st to 4th floor, hindi mo na kailangan bigyan ng allocation for capitalization ng borrowing cost. Kasi nga tapos na eh. Doon lang sa mga parts na hindi pa tapos ang bibigyan mo ng capitalization ng borrowing cost. So in our illustration, yung sa 5th floor lang ang dapat bigyan ng capitalization ng borrowing cost. Tama? Let's say, ang borrowing cost, 100,000. Since ang hindi lang kumpleto ay yung 5th floor, no? Isang floor lang lumalabas, tama? So, 100,000 divided by 5, kasi 5 floor, so 20,000. Okay? Yung 20,000, yun lang yung capitalizable para doon sa hindi pa tapos, yung 5th floor. At yung 80,000, no? Expense na yon. Di ba? Hindi mo na i-capitalize yan. Expense na yan. Kasi nga, tapos na yon. That pertains to 1st and to 4th floor. Klaro? Nasundan? Okay. Now, punta na tayo sa classification ng borrowings. So, dalawa yan class. Meron tayong specific at meron tayong general borrowings. Okay, kapag specific, okay, syempre yung borrowings, yung pera na yon considered pondo lamang para sa isang qualifying asset. Umutang para sa construction ng building. Yung borrowings na yon, specific borrowings. Tama? Now, kapag general borrowings, okay, hindi mo ma-identify specifically para sa isang gamit. Kasi yung pondo, ginamit sa construction ng building, ginamit sa pagbili ng mga equipment, ginamit pambili ng inventories, ginamit pambayad sa mga other payables ng companies. Di ba? More than one purpose. Pag ganun, general borrowings yun. Okay? Now, papunta pa lang tayo sa exciting part. At yun yung computation. Okay? Paano kumpitin yung capitalizable borrowing cost under specific borrowings and general borrowings? Ito na yon. So, sa specific borrowing, sabi dito, funds borrowed specifically for the purpose of obtaining a qualifying asset. And the formula for determining the capitalizable borrowing cost, ito yon. Actual borrowing cost minus investment income. Okay? Itong actual borrowing cost class, yan yung actual na interest na na-incur. Okay? Simple as that. Minus any investment income daw. Now, siguro, ang tanong mo, bakit may investment income dyan na binabawas, sir? Ganito kasi yan, class. In reality, ang construction ng qualifying asset, matagal-tagal talaga, di ba? Lalo na, if we're talking about building. Okay? Tas mga malalaki ang building yan. Di ba? Now, for example, excuse me, meron kang 4 million, okay, na inutang para sa construction nga ng qualifying asset na yan, ng building na yan. And as estimated, yung 2 million magagastos mo sa first half ng taon, first semester. Then yung other 2 million sa other second half, sa second half ng taon. So yung isang 2 million from January to June, okay? At yung other 2 million magagamit mo sa July hanggang December. Okay, anong buwan tayo ngayon? Very good. May. So as estimated, yung first 2 million lang ang may exhaust mo up to June. Pero anong gagawin mo dun sa nakatenggang 2 million na magagamit pa lang starting July? Tama? Nakatenga lang. So para mapakinabangan, no, pangkaraniwan, ini-invest yan para manganak pa ng pera. Pero temporarily ini-invest dapat. Okay? Temporarily lang dapat ang maging investment. Okay? So for example, in-invest nga sa stocks. Sabihin natin. Okay? Then after a month, let's say binawi mo na yung investment mo at nagkataon kumita naman. So tawag na natin doon investment income. Okay? Dun sa amount ng kita mo out of the investment na ginawa mo. Okay? But as a rule, based nga dito sa past 23, yung investment income na yan ay binabawas natin to get yung capitalizable borrowing costs under specific borrowings. Kasi nga, yung pondong pinagmulan ng investment income galing mismo dun sa specific borrowings. Okay? So again, in terms of determining the capitalizable borrowing cost for specific borrowings, actual borrowing cost minus investment income. Okay, next. General borrowings. Anong formula niya? Ito yon, capitalizable borrowing cost is equals to average expenditures times capitalization rate. Ito medyo may ifa-familiarize ka lang ng mga rules ulit, class. Okay? Now, itong average expenditures, you simply get the average expenses incurred related dun sa development na nangyayari sa qualifying asset during the year. Okay? Pakita natin yan maya-maya kung paano, no, sa illustration. Okay? Capitalization rate, as indicated here, no? Ito kasi sabi niya times capitalization rate. May formula din yan kung paano i-determine tong capitalization rate. Capitalization rate is the total annual borrowing cost over the total general borrowing outstanding during the period. May times kasi na maraming borrowings kang ginawa sa isang taon. Or sabihin na natin, maraming ginawa yung company. And that borrowings are considered general borrowings. Okay, with that, kailangan nating kumpitin ng maigi yung capitalization rate. Now, kung sa isang taon, nangyari, no, ang general borrowings mo lang ay isa, wala ka ng problema in terms of capitalization rate. Because the capitalization rate would be equivalent doon sa interest rate ng general borrowing na yan. Since nag-iisa lang siya. Pero kung maraming general borrowings yan, that's the time na gagamitin mo tong formula na to. So, kung paano yan, mamaya ma-appreciate nyo. Dahil may illustration tayo. Okay? Tapos may sinabi dito, investment income is not deducted to capitalizable borrowing costs. Okay? Hindi daw binabawas or simply disregarded kapag ang i-determine natin ang capitalizable borrowing costs. Okay? Under general borrowings. Bakit, sir? Dahil kasi yung pondong pinagmulan ng investment income ay galing sa general borrowings. Marami ang pinaggamitan, class. So it would be improper to deduct it dun sa capitalizable borrowing cost ng qualifying asset. Tama, di ba? At saka, kung isipin mo, it would be difficult to identify. And at the same time, impractical. Okay? Impractical. Kasi nga, yung mismong pondo is nagamit naman sa pangkalahatan. Hindi lang naman specific. That's why sabi ng standard, just disregard it kung sakaling merong makuwang investment income out of the fund doon sa general borrowings. Okay? Okay? Tandaan yung sinabi na yun ni sir, ha? Pagdating sa general borrowings, any investment income ay disregarded, hindi binabawas. Sa specific borrowing lang, binabawas yung investment income. Okay? Klaro yan? Okay. Tapos meron pang sinabi dito, however, the capitalizable borrowing cost shall not exceed the actual borrowing cost. Okay. Tandaan, class, iba ang capitalizable borrowing cost sa actual borrowing cost. The capitalizable borrowing cost, may formula tayong sinusundan. At ito nga yun. Di ba? Ito yun. Okay? Now, ang actual borrowing cost, this is simply the interest rate times doon sa outstanding amount ng inutang mo. Okay? Yung normal way of getting the interest. That's how you get the actual borrowing cost. So, iba ang capitalizable borrowing cost sa actual borrowing cost, ha? Okay? Ang punto lang kasi dito ng standards na dapat ang capitalizable borrowing cost hindi isosobra sa actual borrowing cost. Kasi yung actual borrowing cost, yan na yung mismong maximum amount na pwede mong ma-incur para dyan sa borrowings mo. It would be abnormal kapag mas malaki pa sa actual interest incurred ang ikakapitalize mo. 'Di ba? Doon mo lang dapat hugutin 'yun eh. Tama? Tama? Kaya lang naman may possibility na mas mataas ang ikakapitalize mo kaysa dun sa kaya lang naman may possibility na mas mataas yung pwede mong i-capitalize na borrowing cost kaysa dun sa actual na na-incur na borrowing cost dahil may formula tayong sinusundan. Ito nga yun. Okay? May formula tayong sinusundan. Okay? Ang normal kasi, dapat, actual borrowing cost is greater than dun sa capitalizable amount. Okay? Basta itong tandaan nyo, class. Kung sakaling ang capitalizable borrowing cost as computed is greater than the actual borrowing cost, i-consider na capitalizable na amount ay yung actual. Okay? Yung actual. Okay? Sa ibang sabi, the lower between the computed capitalizable borrowing cost and the actual borrowing cost is the amount to be capitalized. Bawal sumobra dun sa actual. Okay? Dapat ang kukunin mo lang na i-capitalize, kung hindi yung buong amount ng actual, portion lang nun. Ganun lang. Kasimple. Okay? Karagdagan, sabi dito, excess of actual borrowing cost over the capitalizable borrowing cost is charged as expense. Okay? Tama naman. Okay? Normally naman talagang dapat mas mataas ang actual kaysa dun sa amount na ikakapitalize mo as capitalizable borrowing cost doon sa qualifying asset. Tama naman yan. Okay? So, any excess, interest daw. Interest expense. Okay? Now, para mas ma-appreciate nga, let's have now the illustration. So, we have here, an entity obtained a loan of 4 million at an interest rate of 10%. Specifically to finance the construction of new building. O, tanongin kita. Okay? Yung borrowings na nangyari dito, general or specific? Specific. Sinabi na kasi dito, specifically to finance the construction of a new building. That's the qualifying asset, yung ginagawang building. Sabi dito, total borrowing costs incurred amounted to 250,000 for the current year. Prior to disbursement, the proceeds of the borrowing were temporarily invested and earned interest income of 40,000. The building was completed at the current year end. How much is the capitalizable borrowing cost? Okay. So, again, ano ang formula to get the capitalizable borrowing cost under specific borrowings? Ito yon. Capitalizable borrowing cost is equals to actual borrowing cost minus investment income. Eh, ano ba dito yung actual borrowing cost? Ito na yun, sinabi na. 250,000. At magkano investment income dito? Ito, 40,000. Sinabi na rin. So, the answer for the question, how much is the capitalizable borrowing cost? 210,000. Okay, ito yun. 250,000 minus investment income, no? 40,000, you have 210,000 as capitalizable amount. Okay? Tama po ba? Okay, class. Now, if the problem, no, hindi in-indicate, for example, total borrowing cost incurred amounted to 250,000 for the current year. Paano mo i-compute yung actual borrowing cost nun? Eh di simply 4 million, the amount of the loan, times the interest rate na 10%. That would be 400,000. Okay? Eh sir, oo nga, bakit hindi nga 400,000 palang ginamit dito as the actual? Okay? Dito kasi sa problem class, silent siya, no? So, iisipin mo rin, tandaan, in getting the actual interest, okay, hindi mo lang kino-consider yung interest rate, pati yung outstanding amount ng principal na inutang mo, kundi yung period. Okay? Eh dito, wala tayong specific period kung kailan inutang. Okay? Ang alam lang natin, as assumption, December 31 ng ano nito, ang period, reporting period nito. Okay? So, with this, kaya siguro nagkaiba yung actual na in-incur as indicated here, 250,000 versus dun sa supposedly alam natin, 4 million times 10%. Kasi, maaring yung loan for this problem, hindi na hiram starting January 1. Kaya naiba yung actual na na-incur, 250,000. Okay? So, take note of the date din. Pero since dito, napakasimple ng problem kasi binigay na niya lahat, o di sundin na natin yun as is. Okay? Tama po ba? So, klaro tayo dyan, ha? Next. On January 1, Petix Incorporated borrowed 6 million at annual interest rate of 10% to finance specifically the cost of the building an electricity generating plant. Okay, so generating plant yung qualifying asset dito. Okay, tanong. Yung 6 million na hiniram, okay, yung borrowings na yan, general or specific? Very good. Specific. Sinabi na dito, specifically, yung 6 million na yan ay gagamitin para dun sa ipapatayong generating plant. Okay, sabi dito, construction commenced on January 1 with a cost of 6 million. Okay, so nagkataon, parehas lang din yung cost ng may incur na expense in constructing the generating plant. Not all cash borrowed was used immediately. Okay, so interest income of 80,000 was generated by temporarily investing some of the borrowed funds prior to use. So, hindi naman isang bagsakan yung 6 million nagamit, no, as gastos sa isang date lang. So, that's why yung mga hindi pa nagamit, in-invest. So, kumita ng 80,000. Okay? Then the project completed on November 30. Question, what is the capitalizable borrowing cost? What is the carrying amount of the plant, in generating plant, on November 30? Okay? Class, if you want to, to solve it on your own, you may pause the video. Katulad ng sinasabi ko dun sa mga previous recorded video. Then if you are confident now kung nakuha mo yung sagot, that's the time na i-play mo para ma-check mo kung tama nga o hindi. Okay? So now, let's reveal the answer. The amount of capitalizable borrowing cost is 470,000. Okay, so since specific borrowing cost to, ang formula natin, actual borrowing cost, since specific borrowing to, di ba? Ang formula to get the capitalizable borrowing cost is simply the actual borrowing cost minus investment income. Okay, so actual borrowing cost, magkano? Walang binigay dito. So the computation would be simply 6 million times the interest rate. 10%, 600,000. Kaya lang, take note, kailan ba nakumpleto daw yung pag-construct ng generating plant? The project completed on November 30. So yung 6 million times 10%, that is good for 12 months eh. Natapos lang siya ng 11 months. Di ba pagtapos na, tigil na tayo ng capitalization? Okay, that's why yung 6 million times 10% times 11 over 12 ang ginawa natin. So, yung actual talaga na na-incur mo lang na expense is 550,000. Tama po ba? 550,000. Meron tayong investment income lumalabas. Bawas mo yun, 80,000. So, lumalabas, capitalizable borrowing cost, 470,000. Okay? Klaro yan ha? Nasundan? Next, what is the carrying amount of the plant on November 30? Answer is 6,470,000. So yung expenses na incur mo to construct the generating plant, okay, which is ito nga yun, total cost of 6 million, okay, plus yung capitalizable borrowing cost as computed kanina, 470,000. So yung total carrying amount ng building, ng generating plant rather, okay, is 6,470,000. Okay, so ganun lang kasimple class. Okay, nasusundan yan ha. So next, this time, illustration naman tayo ng general borrowings. Okay, so ito yung mga given, na lang, appreciate. Then, ano ang requirement? Determine the capitalizable borrowing cost, determine the carrying amount of the building, and the interest expense or finance charge. Okay, so let's see. Balik muna tayo sa formula in getting the general borrowings. Ano nga yung formula noon? Yung capitalizable borrowings under general borrowings. Capitalizable borrowing cost under general borrowings. Sabi dito, average expenditures times capitalization rate. Okay, tapos, kapag marami yung general borrowings, the capitalization rate is being computed as total annual borrowing cost, yung actual, over the total general borrowing outstanding during that period. Okay, pero kung isang general borrowings lang yan, edi yung capitalization rate mo is equivalent dun sa interest rate na nung general borrowings yun. Yung general borrowings na yun. Okay, so mamaya, tingnan natin. Okay, balik tayo dito. So una, kailangan mo muna daw i-average yung expenditures. Okay, times mo sa capitalization rate. So, dalawang i-consider mo dyan, class. So, dito, binigyan ka sa problem ng expenditures, no? Na nagastos in construction, in constructing the building. Okay? Kailan sinimulan? January 1, natapos ng December 31. So, respectively, ito yung breakdown ng gastos. Yung January 1, may nagastos na 400, March 31, 1 million, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. Tapos, nung December 31, may pahabol na 400,000. We need to average this, class. Okay, itong expenses na to in constructing the building. Okay? Then, whatever is the average amount of that, okay, i-times mo dun sa capitalization rate. Again, ang capitalization rate, okay, ang formula nun, total annual borrowing cost over doon sa total general borrowings na outstanding pa. during the year. Ito lahat ay for general purposes. So obviously, lahat ng binanggit dito ng mga borrowings ay general borrowings. Okay? So we have principal amount na 3 million, 1.5, and 3.5. Times 10% kasi yan yung respective interest rate. So 3 million times 10, 300. For this loan, 12% times 1.5, 180. For this loan, 8% times 3.5 million, 280 for this loan. Okay, so pakita na natin. Ang una natin kukumpitin, capitalizable borrowing cost. Okay. So, in getting the average expenditures class, ito yung naging solution natin. So, obviously, nung January 1, may 400,000 tayo. Up to December 31, yung reporting period natin. So, in effect, na-spread out siya for 12 months. So, kung ifa-fraction nga natin yan, times 12 over 12. Kung i-average natin. So, you have 400,000. Then, yung March 31 na gastos, 1 million, di ba? Times 9 over 12 lang. May spread out mo yan. Bakit 9 over 12? Since March 31 yan, ang bilang na natin April 1. So, April hanggang December 31, 9 months. So, 1 million times 9 over 12, 750. Okay, next. June 30 na gastos, 1.2. So, ang count niyan simula ng July 1. Up to December 31, 6 months yun. So, 1.2 times 6 over 12, 600,000. Yung September 30 na gastos, so ang start niyan October 1. October 1 hanggang December 31, 3 months. So 1 million times 3 over 12, 250. Yung gastos nung December 31, 400,000, siguro isang malaki ang gastos lang yan, isang araw lang. Hindi mo na kailangang i-fraction kasi wala ka nang i-fraction doon. Eh. That is good as gastos na for that. So wala ka nang kailangang i-spread out. Okay, so if you notice, hindi na natin siya ma-fraction. Okay, so 0 na siya lumalabas in getting the average, okay? So 400 plus 750 plus 600 plus 250, you have 2 million. That would be the average expenditures, okay, for the year. Okay, take note ha, na kompleto siya on December 31 of the current year. So nagkataon isang taon lang siya na natapos. Starting January 1, then December 31, tapos na agad yung construction ng building. Okay naman, no? Pero in reality, hindi ganun kadali yun, okay? Next, so you have the average expenditures, which is 2 million. Klaro, no? That's, then, the next computation na gagawin natin, yung capitalization rate. Paano daw yon? Total annual borrowing cost over the total general borrowings. So you have 760,000 here over 8 million. Sir, saan mo nakuha yan? Okay? Yung 760,000, yan yung total actual borrowing cost mo for each general borrowings na meron ka. Ito yun. Lahat to general borrowings, di ba? So yung borrowing cost niyan, related to that, 300, 180, 280, total niyan, 760,000. Okay? Over total general borrowings na outstanding. Okay? Dito naman sa problem, wala namang sinabing out of this amount, may nabayaran na. So, lahat yung principal amount na yan, no, is outstanding pa as of the moment. So, 3 million, 1.5, and 3.5, total 8 million. Okay? So, that's how you get 760,000 and the 8 million. Okay? So, divide it. 760,000 over 8 million, you have capitalization rate 9.5%. Okay? So, you have the average expenditures times the capitalization rate. Okay? 2 million, eto yon, times 9.5, you have capitalizable borrowing cost for general borrowings na 190,000. That would be the answer. Okay? Tama, di ba? O, follow-up question. Magkano daw yung carrying amount ng building? Okay? Kaya na ba nating i-determine? Yes. Tapos naman na eh. Okay? As of the moment, tapos naman na. Okay? December 31. So, magkano ba yung total gastos mo in constructing the building? Ito yun. 400, 1 million, 1.2, 1 million, tsaka 400. Magkano yan? Tama ba? 4 million. So, incurred cost for building, 4 million. Take note, hindi pa dyan natatapos kasi meron ka dapat na i-capitalize na borrowing cost para dun sa na-construct na building. And as computed, 190,000 yun. So, lumalabas, carrying amount of the building, no, based dun sa question, would be 4 million plus 190, 4,190,000. Okay, klaro yung class ha? Klaro yun? Okay, next. Anong susunod na tanong? Interest, expense, or finance charge. Okay, balikan natin dito. May sinabi dito yon if you remember. Sabi dito, excess of the actual borrowing cost over the capitalizable borrowing cost is charged as expense. Okay? So, ano lang yan? Siyempre, uh, total interest mo talaga, yung dapat mong bayaran with regards dun sa total outstanding loan mo or borrowings mo. Tama? That is simply interest rate times the outstanding loan. Since meron tayong portion no, na dapat natin capitalize, then so be it, i-capitalize natin. Now, any excess of the actual borrowing cost from the capitalizable is interest and considered as expense. Hindi capitalizable. So, expense yun. Diba? Tama po ba? So, again any actual borrowing cost over dun sa capitalizable borrowing cost is charged under expense. So, or simply interest expense. Okay? Balik tayo dito. Okay. Tanungin kita. Okay tayo sa capitalizable borrowing cost. So, ang problema na lang natin yung actual borrowing cost. Anong sabi natin pag actual borrowing cost? Sumobra tayo. Ito pala. Okay, anong sabi natin pag actual borrowing cost? It is simply the interest rate times dun sa outstanding loan. Okay, or depende sa problem kung indicated na yung actual incurred borrowing cost. Okay? So, eto na yun, class, for this problem. Yung 300 tsaka 180 plus 280, that would be the total amount of the actual borrowing cost. Okay? Magkano daw yan? Eto na nga yun. 760,000, yung total ng tatlo kanina. Okay, balik tayo 300 plus 180 plus 280. Okay, this is the interest expense related for these various general borrowings for the year. Okay, so 300 plus 180, 280, 760. Okay? Saan yun? So, ito na yun. Less capitalizable borrowing cost kasi nga hindi mo yan i-considered as expense. Magiging part yan ng cost ng qualifying asset. Okay? Kapag kompleto na siya. Okay? Or habang hindi pa siya kompleto, magiging part din yan. Okay? So, as computed, 190 nga yun. So, 760 over 190, 570,000 lang ang i-considered mo as interest expense. Klaro? Okay, klaro? Next. Paano naman daw pag combination? So, may specific and then may general borrowings na nangyari doon sa company. So, basahin natin. An entity borrowed 1.5 at an interest of 10% is specifically for the construction of a new building. So, definitely specific borrowings yan. The actual borrowing cost on this loan is 150,000. So, hindi ka na mahihirapan, no? 150,000 na yan, binigay na. But if hindi yan binigay, ito yun, 1.5 times 10%. O, halos pares lang din naman. Okay, di ba? Then, the entity had also outstanding loan during the year, a 5-year, 8% general borrowings of 7 million. Okay? Then, the construction of building was started on January 1 and completed on December 31. So, isang taon lang pala. Natapos na. Okay? Of the current year. Then, yung related expenses, para ma-construct yan, 500, 1 million, tama? 1.5, 1.5, then 500. Ano ang requirement? Compute the capitalizable borrowing cost, carrying amount of building, and interest expense or finance charge. Okay, so medyo to, no? Combination ng specific and general borrowing. So, pakita na natin agad yung sagot. Okay. So, ganito muna ang gagawin mo. Since combination ng specific and general borrowings yan, okay, unahin mo muna yung general borrowings. I mean, in terms of getting the capitalizable borrowing cost, yung trato natin, yung process natin to get that, under general borrowings. Okay, so anong ginagawa natin kapag general borrowings? We get the average expenditures, okay, times natin doon sa capitalization rate. So first, let's get the average expenditures. So 500, 1 million, 1.5, 1.5, 500. So 500, since na-incur yan January 1, tatakbo yan for 12 months up to December 31, up to the date of completion of the current year. So nagkataon niya isang taon. Okay, so 500,000. Then next is yung 1 million, kailan na-incur? April 1. So tatakbo ulit yan from April 1 up to December 31, 9 months. So 1 million times 9 over 12, 750. Then we have another expenditures, May 1. So 1.5 yan. So May hanggang December 31. Okay, 8 months yan. So 1.5 times 8 over 12, 1 million. Then another expenditures, September 1. So 4 na buwan bago December 31. Okay, so 1.5 times 4 over 12, 500,000. Then may expenditures tayo na December 31. Okay, so hindi na yan tatakbo ng isang buwan kasi that day lang siya magagastos. Okay? That's why wala na tayong fraction in terms of getting the average. So, 0 tayo dito. Total average expenditures, 2.75 million as computed here pag pinag-total mo yan. Okay? Now, kapag may combination ng specific and general borrowings, ganitong ginagawa. So, you have the average expenditures, 2.75, ibawas mo yung specific borrowings. Magkano yung specific borrowings? 1.5. Saan galing yan, sir? Ito. Yung amount ng loan na hiniram mo, specifically para dun sa kino-construct na qualifying asset. Okay? So, ang makukuha mo, 2.75 minus 1.5 is 1.25 million. That would be the amount applicable for general borrowings in terms of computing the capitalizable borrowings related to that. Capitalizable borrowing cost related to that. Okay, so ito yung total amount. Capitalizable borrowing cost, ito yon. Specific borrowings, 10% times 1.5 million. Sir, saan nakuha yung 10%? Given. Ito yun, di ba? To fund the construction of the building, meron tayong hiniram na 1.5, then may interest rate yan na 10%. Specific for that construction ng building. Okay? Pero obviously, di ba, kulang yun kasi nga, ang gastos, magkano? Ito yung gastos lahat eh. So that's why portion of that nanggaling din dun sa general borrowings. Okay? So you have 1.5, doon muna tayo sa specific. So 1.5 times 10%, you have 150. Or simply, ito na yon, yung binigay ng problem. Okay, so 150,000 here. Now, in terms of getting the capitalizable borrowing cost, general borrowings, you have, ito yon, yung natitira dito kanina sa taas, 1.25 million times capitalization rate. Since yung general borrowing natin, isa lang, so the capitalization rate would be equal dun sa interest rate ng general borrowing na yan. Okay, which is, ito yon, 8%. Okay? 8% times 1,250,000. Okay? You have 100,000. Okay? So, yung capitalizable borrowing cost para sa specific and para dun sa general, that would be the total amount of the capitalizable borrowing cost. 150 plus 100, you have 250,000. Okay? Klaro? Susundan? Okay. Next, yung carrying amount ng building. Okay? Ay di, i-compute mo lang lahat ng gastos mo to construct the building plus yung capitalizable borrowing cost. Yun na yun. Okay, pakita natin. So, incurred cost for the building, 5 million. Paano nakuha yung 5 million, sir? Ito yun. 500 plus 1 million plus 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 500. That is the total cost in constructing the building. Okay, so you have 5 million. Okay? Plus capitalizable borrowing cost as computed kanina. Ito yon, yung total. Combination of specific tsaka general. 250,000. So you have total amount of building, 5,250,000. Okay? Ganun lang ang simple class. Next would be interest expense or finance charge na i-incur mo. O paano nga ulit kunin yan? Yung actual borrowing cost over doon sa capitalizable borrowing cost. Okay? Puntahin natin. Kumpitin natin. At ito na yon. 710,000 yung actual borrowing cost minus yung capitalizable borrowing cost na 250 as computed. You have interest expense, okay, na 460,000. 710 minus 250, 460. Okay? 460,000. Sir, paano na-compute yung 710,000? Ito na yon. Okay? Yung actual borrowing cost related sa specific borrowing and actual borrowing cost related sa general borrowings. Doon sa specific borrowings, ito na yon. As indicated, 150. Diba? Doon sa general borrowings, ito yun. Yung 8% times doon sa principal amount na outstanding. And that would be 8% times 7 million. Okay? Nasaan yun? O, 7 million times 8%. Okay? Magkano yun? Calcu. Okay, 7 million times 8%. Okay, so you have 560,000. Plus 150 para dun sa actual borrowing cost ng specific borrowings. Okay, 560 plus 150, 710,000. Okay? Out of that, ang capitalizable lang daw 250 as computed kanina. So, ang natitira would be recorded as expense under interest expense. 460,000. Klaro yun, class? Klaro yun, eh? Okay? So, by the way, class, kung may question dito, no, you may personally ask, sir, no? Or if you want, message mo sa Facebook or email. Okay? Through email. Okay? Anyway, ayun. So, I think ito na yung last part ng discussion natin, disclosures related to borrowing costs. Kaya lang, mabalik lang ako dito sa computation class. Ito, nagkataon sa problem na binigay, natapos siya ng 1 taon. Okay, yung qualifying asset. Okay? Paano kung ang problem na binigay sa'yo, ang construction matatapos hindi lang 1 taon? Sabihin na natin, matatapos sa pangalawang taon or pangatlong taon. Paano na yung pag-compute nun? Okay? So, yan yung matinding tanong ni sir kasi ikaw na ang sasagot yan. Okay? Ikaw na bahala dyan. Paano nga yun, no? Okay, paano kung 2 taon nang binigay dito? So, for example, December 31, hindi pa rin pala tapos. May additional incurred na cost para i-construct yung building next year, January 1. Tapos, meron pa ulit next year, March naman. Okay? Paano naman yun? Paano ang treatment nun? Okay? So, anyway, yun yung matinding tanong. Tapos, dagdag lang natin, di ba, sabi ko kanina, yung capitalizable borrowing cost, dapat hindi yan susobra doon sa actual borrowing cost. Okay? Dahil kapag yung na-compute natin ang capitalizable borrowing cost ay sumobra doon sa actual na borrowing cost, ang susundin natin whichever is lower. So since sumobra yung computed capitalizable borrowing cost natin, ang mako-consider natin na capitalizable borrowing cost is equivalent na doon sa actual borrowing cost kasi yun ang mas mababa. Okay? Tama, di ba? So for example, itong na-compute natin, 250,000. Okay? Tapos sabihin na lang natin okay, sabihin lang natin ito ay yung actual borrowing cost, nagkataon 210,000 yan. Tapos ang capitalizable borrowing cost mo 250 as computed based dun sa formula. Tatanungin kita, magkano ang dapat mong i-recognize as capitalizable borrowing cost ng building? Ito, for example, 210 okay, yung actual borrowing cost. Yung computed based sa formula 250. Ano ang amount na dapat mong i-recognize as capitalizable? Yung lower, which is yung 210. Okay, so 210 ang gamitin mo dito. Okay, as capitalizable borrowing cost to form part of the cost nung mismong qualifying asset. Tandaan yun, class, whichever is lower yan. Okay? Kaya lang naman nagkakaroon ng difference, no? Or nagiging abnormal na yung capitalizable borrowing cost ay tumataas kumpara dun sa actual borrowing cost. Number one factor niyan, kapag yung mismong qualifying asset, mahabang panahon siya kino-construct. Okay, tapos nagkataon, since ginagawa nating average, no? Yung mga na-incur na expenses, at the earlier date siya nagastos. So, in terms of spread out, good for 12 months yun. Okay, pag in-average mo. Tapos, dagdagan mo pa na hindi siya natatapos sa isang period lang. So, lalaki ng lalaki talaga yung mako-compute mo based dun sa formula in getting the capitalizable borrowing cost. May pagkakataon na mas malaki yon comparing it to actual borrowing cost. Okay? At isa pang factor, syempre, kapag yung amount mismo ng inutang mo, mas mababang dihamak, yung total principal amount nun, mas mababang dihamak dun sa ginagastos mo in constructing the qualifying asset. Okay? Obviously, magkakaroon ng impact yon in getting the capitalizable borrowing cost. Tataas yon compared dun sa actual borrowing cost. Okay? Yun lang. And then ito additional information, disclosures related to borrowing costs. The amount of the borrowing cost capitalized during the period. So i-disclose mo 'yan. Idagdag mo 'yan dun sa notes to financial statements. And yung capitalization rate used to determine the amount of the borrowing costs eligible for capitalization, kasama din yung dinidisclose. And syempre, yung mga polisiya na inadopt ng company in determining the borrowing cost, kasama din yun. Okay, yung accounting policy in determining the borrowing cost. Okay, tapos sinabi lang dito, segregation of assets that are qualifying assets from the other assets in the statement of financial position is not required to be disclosed. Simply because, di ba, yung pag-present mo ng qualifying assets doon sa statement of financial position, naka-separate na, naka-segregate na. Hindi na siya part ng items under PPE. Okay, so may PPE ka dyan, tapos under the PPE line item, naglagay ka doon ng line item separately, no, indicated as qualifying asset. So no need to disclose it sa notes to financial statements. Kasi nga nandoon na siya mismo naka-separate sa statement of financial position. Hindi mo na kailangang i-specify pa ulit sa notes to financial. Hindi mo na kailangang i-disclose. Kasi sineperate na nga eh. Doon sineperate na sa statement of financial position. So no need na to disclose it again. Obviously, pinakita na niya na mayroong qualifying asset sa balance sheet. So no need to disclose that. Okay, kung meron namang segregation na nangyari. Okay? So yun lang class, tapos na ating discussion. So let's check kung merong natutunan. A little review questions. Borrowing costs can be capitalized when? So if you want to answer it, you may pause the video then saka mo i-play kapag may sagot ka na. A, the asset is qualifying asset. B, the asset is qualifying asset and it is not probable that the borrowing cost will result in future economic benefits to the entity. C, the asset is qualifying asset and it is probable that borrowing cost will result in future economic benefits to the entity, but the cost cannot be measured reliably. Letter D, the asset is qualifying asset and it is probable that the borrowing cost will result in future economic benefits to the entity and the cost can be measured reliably. The answer is letter D, as in dog. Okay? Next, if the qualifying asset is financed by general borrowings, so take note, general borrowings, the capitalizable borrowing cost is equal to actual borrowing cost incurred. Letter B, total expenditures on the asset multiplied by capitalization rate. Letter C, average expenditures on the asset multiplied by capitalization rate, or the actual borrowing cost, whichever is lower. Letter D, average expenditures on the asset multiplied by capitalization rate, or actual borrowing cost, whichever is higher. Ito kakabanggit ko lang kanina, di ba? The answer would be letter C. Okay, average expenditures on the asset multiplied by capitalization rate, or actual borrowing cost, whichever is lower. Okay, next. Which of the following is not a condition that must be satisfied before interest capitalization can begin on a qualifying asset? Okay. Kung natatandaan nyo, may mnemonics tayo dyan. Letter A, interest is being incurred. Letter B, expenditures for the asset have been made. Letter C, the interest rate is equal to the bank prime rate. Letter D, activities necessary to get the assets ready for intended use are in progress. Di ba ang mnemonics natin dyan, EBA? Okay? Tama po ba? EBA. Paano yan, sir? Walang B. Walang letter B na nagsisimula dito. Di ba yung borrowing cost, yun yung interest. Okay? Sabi lang doon, borrowing costs are being incurred. Then, therefore, interest is being incurred. So, yung letter A, tama yan. Yung letter B, tama yan. Yung letter D, tama din yan. So, yung not a condition, etong letter C. Wala namang sinabi doon na yung interest rate dapat daw equal doon sa rate na pinapatong ng mga bangko in terms of pag nagpapautang sila. Okay? So, hindi yon kasama as requirement bago tayo mag-start ng capitalization ng borrowing cost para dun sa qualifying asset. So, letter C ang tamang sagot. Okay, not a condition. Next, the period of time during which interest must be capitalized ends when? Okay lang daw kailangang ihinto yung capitalization ng borrowing cost. Letter A, the asset is substantially complete and ready for intended use. B, no further interest is being incurred. Letter C, the asset is abandoned, sold, or fully depreciated. Letter D, the activities that are necessary to get the asset ready for intended use have begun. Okay? Nag-e-end yan, yung capitalization yan, kapag yung mismong qualifying asset ay substantially complete na. Okay? Pagtapos na at pwede nang gamitin. The answer would be letter A. Okay? Next, last question. Which is not a disclosure requirement in relation to borrowing costs? Ano lang din natin, kakabanggit lang natin dyan. A, accounting policy adopted for borrowing costs. B, amount of borrowing costs capitalized during the period. C, segregation of qualifying asset from the other assets. D, capitalization rate used to determine the amount of borrowing costs eligible for capitalization. Ano daw ang hindi disclosure requirement? Letter C, segregation of qualifying asset from the other assets. Kasi nga, sinegregate na siya. So therefore, sa balance sheet, nakaseparate na siya doon. No need to emphasize it in the notes to financial na sineparate mo siya. Kasi nga, na-separate mo na siya from the face of financial statements, which is yung yung basic na financial statements na alam natin. Balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement, tsaka yung statement of changes in equity. Yan yung tinatawag nating face of financial statements. The body of the financial statements. Supporting lang yung notes to financial statements. So, kung nandoon na yun, no need na to disclose it. So, letter C. Okay, ang tamang sagot. Okay, so, yun lang class. Tapos na tayo sa disclosure. Okay? Tapos na tayo sa borrowing costs. Okay? And I hope you will be ready for the next week kasi nga tatlo ang quiz ninyo. Okay? Quiz for employee benefits, quiz for government grants, and quiz for this topic, borrowing costs. Yun lang class.